Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, guys. We going and giving 120% for the next 21 days, prayerfully to change it into a lifestyle. Now, today's video, it might be a little longer. Hopefully it's not. I want to keep it simple and brief as always, but I got to share something with you all that God brought to light to me in today's service. Well, at church right now, we're talking about foundations. We're keeping everything basic. We're going back to the foundations of Jesus and a purpose as a believer, and just by making disciples. That's where we're at now. Today, it brought to this reality to me. A good friend of mine, eventually I'm going to meet him, because I just feel like y'all all my people. So one day you're going to meet him. But a good friend of mine, his name is Joshua Moses. We used to talk back in the days, and God gave me something. It's all about connecting spiritual truth with man's reality. Now, what I'm going to share with you right now, I'm going to show you how this spiritual truth connects with our reality. Now, this is spiritual truth. It's talking about the gospel, the good news. Well, the reality is you can't understand the power of the good news until you understand the magnitude of the bad news. Now, I'm talking about spiritual truth right now. Now, let me tell you the bad news. The bad news is that after Adam and Eve was created, which when God created everything, he said that everything was good. But when he created man, when he created Adam, he said, this is very good. But it was bad news even for God. He said it's not good that man be alone. That's when he created woman. But they had access to everything that God created at that time except for one thing. It was the tree of the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. Now, because of that one thing and because of Satan and everything, it caused them to sin, which sin literally means missing the mark. Again, I'm talking about spiritual truth. Now, because they missed the mark, here's the bad news. Now it put us in a position to where we are now enemies of God. When as enemies of God, everything opposite to the beauty of God, we don't have access to. So all we have access to is those evil things like fear, doubt, worry, complacency, lazy, guilt, shame, just all those things that tear us up on the inside. So that's where we are now. Now, the bad news is just as bad as not only we have to experience those things on earth, but now we are now condemned to eternal damnation. Eternal damnation means that we're not only going to be tortured here on this earth with all those spirits of fear, guilt, and shame, but once we leave this earth, now we have to experience eternal torment, isolation, darkness, pain, just for infinity and beyond. But here's the good news, because see, in the bad news, we were all in process. We were all in line to experience that eternal damnation. The gospel, the good news. Jesus seen that. Jesus said, you know what? I'm going to do something for mankind. I'm going to sacrifice my life to put y'all back into good relation, to experience all the great things of God. The great things of God separate us now from guilt, shame, fear, complacency, laziness, procrastination, all those things that are not of God. And now because we get to experience that abundant and fruitful life and prosperity here on earth, guess what? Once we leave this earth, now we have an infinity of the beauty and the blessings and the glory and the fearless and the love and the no pain, the no crying, the no sorrow for infinity and beyond. Guys, that's the good news. But guess what? The only way to experience that good news is to believe in that there's such a power based upon what Jesus did on the cross that can transition us from that bad news to the good news, from eternal damnation starting here on earth until eternal damnation from here and beyond, to prosperity here on earth, to prosperity, infinity and beyond. We got to believe in that being true. Now, that's the spiritual reality. That's going from the bad news to the good news. You just have to believe in that being the truth. Now, let me bring you to our reality today. I'm going to speak of this bad news, and I'm going to make it sound good at first. But here's the bad news. We're born into this world. Okay, we come into this world. They told us to go to school for 12 years, get a good education, choose a good college, choose a good skill or career, get in that career, and you're going to get in that career, preferably, first of all, that you love what you do. Second, you love the people that you work with. Third, you love the job good enough to stay with it for the next 20 or 30 years. And preferably, they love you enough to be able to not fire you. And now you get to experience a great retirement. around 65 years old, and spend the rest of your life in eternal bliss until it's time for you to move on. Why is that bad news? Because for most of us, we have been seeing, in reference to today's economy, it's a lie. People don't like their job. They don't like the people that they work with. Their job might, or their employer might not like them enough, so they have to fire them, or they see it as a business decision and get rid of them. Now they're going through a transition in life to where they're feeling inadequate. They're feeling inadequate because they can't provide as men. They can't provide like they want to, or even women. You know, that's working. They're losing their job. They're frustrated with life. They're stressed. They're working 16 out of 24-hour days just to be able to pay bills on time. Guys, that's bad news. Well, here's the good news for our reality. That there is a system, there is a way that, you know what, we don't have to experience that life cycle that just continues to flip over and over. And this system is the system that God has given me. Right now, we look at life as it has to be challenging, just like with that spiritual truth. Like, you know what? No, it can't be that easy. I can't just believe in what Jesus did. I have to do more. I have to be good. I have to do this. I have to do that. Well, the reality is what Jesus did to give us that eternal life and life more abundantly starting here on earth, it's a free gift. It's that easy. Well, I'm going to tell you something else. Into reference to our reality, in reference to the system that I have laid out, that God has given me to be able to create meaningful relationships, to be able to be in a position to where we now can get our time back to do what's important in life, either starting with a free app or starting with a simple $18 that we'll probably throw away anyway on junk, can now position us in an easy transition through life into meaningful relationships, into time freedom, and into a life more abundantly here on this earth. Guys, it's easy, it's simple. We always heard the term that says, you know what, if it sounds too good to be true, more than likely it is too good to be true. Well, some people feel that way about Jesus and what he did on the cross. People have been feeling that way for a couple of years now with the system that God gave me. Say, you know what? Nah, it's too good to be true. But you know what blessed me? 3 people, my brother, my good friend, well, 2 friends of mine. They say, you know what? This is really a simple concept. This is really a simple process. And I say, yes, it is. But we don't believe in the simplicity enough to make the decision. So I'm going to end it with this. In reference to our spiritual truth, if you have not made the decision to believe in the sacrifice that what Jesus did on the cross, to be able to transition you over into eternal prosperity from here on this earth into reigning with him for eternity, make the decision today. And accept the fruit of the Spirit that's talked about in Galatians 5:23, or it's like 22 through 25. If you don't know the fruit of the Spirit, read up on it, because guess what? Now we have access to that because we believe in what Jesus did for us on the cross. And then make the decision that believe that there is such a simple system to where we can experience a blissful retirement. We can experience the time freedom that we desire right now here on this earth, to be able to live the life that we want to live with our family, with our friends. And now we have the access to love on our enemies to help them make the transition also. Guys, I love y'all. I pray that y'all have a blessed day. I pray that you receive this video, this information enough to tap into that greatness on the inside of you, to say, you know what, I'm making a decision today. My question to you is, why wait? People say all the time, you know what, I'm going to make that decision tomorrow to accept Jesus and believe in what he did. And guess what? They don't see tomorrow. So why wait in this same concept when it comes to this simple system that I'm laying out to you guys now? You say, you know what, I'll wait till tomorrow to go ahead and get started with this program. But guess what? The issue is life might happen and you never get the opportunity again. So again, don't just have good intentions. Make the decision. I love you guys. Be blessed. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye for now.